It's the next best thing to a concert. Starting this weekend, music fans can get an in-depth look at the legendary band Nirvana.
The Experience Music Project will open a major exhibition dedicated to the group that brought grunge music to the masses. King 5's Joe Fryer is live outside EMP with an exclusive first look. Joe?
Well, Mimi and Lori, this is a project that's truly years in the making, a giant collection of objects, interviews, and songs that tell the story of Nirvana. As the Experience Music Project puts the final touches on its Nirvana exhibition,
the end is soon.
We're faced with a perplexing question.
The first guitar that Kurt ever broke.
How do you sum up such a massive spectacle?
The first contract that Nirvana ever signed?
In a 2-minute story.
I don't know.
How in that time do you even begin to describe something that dominated 2 years of curator Jacob McMurray's life?
I'm sure my wife would say that for some odd reason I actually did acquire several flannel shirts during this process.
It's a story that starts long before they made it big.
Kurt's piece called The New American Gothic.
It begins with Kurt Cobain's high school art and a poster from the first time they were officially called Nirvana.
Believe it or not, they actually went through many different names, including, which is actually listed on here, Skid Row, Ted Ed Fred, Pencap Chew, and Bliss.
It's an exhibit that takes you through their rapid ascent.
Definitely some interesting stories.
Including their first MTV Video Music Award.
Whether it's a mistake or not, it says smells like Team Spirit on the engraving.
Fans can also step inside a confessional booth to share their own Nirvana stories, which are then broadcast on a big screen for everyone to see.
You know, this isn't my novel. This is a story about, you know, the bands that were involved. It's a story about Nirvana. It's a story about the Northwest. It's a story about really all of us.
The broken guitars, the demo tapes, the thrift store clothes. 225 objects in all. How do you possibly cram it all into 2 minutes?
I don't know. That's your job.
Perhaps it's best to simply recommend checking it out for yourself. The exhibition opens to the general public on Saturday at noon. We have more information on tickets and other Nirvana-related events taking place this weekend at king5.com. Live tonight in Seattle, Joe Fryer, King 5 News.
All right, 1991, Laura, my roommate Steve Fleeby bought a record called Nevermind from Nirvana, and we proceeded to rock out for like several years after that. Demo tapes, broken guitars, flannel shirts, just some of the hundreds of items you'll find on display now at a brand new Nirvana exhibit over on the west side.
This is a big deal for you. You're a big Nirvana fan. Okay, Christy Johnson, she's live at the Experience Music Project in Seattle. And Christy, are you rocking out this morning? What are you doing?
Totally rocking out. Let me tell you, it smells like Teen Spirit in here. We are live in Seattle at the Experience Music Project, where they have launched a huge Nirvana exhibit. Over 225 artifacts, everything original, 3,000 square feet of stuff. This is Jacob McMurray. He's the senior curator here. And you spent 2 years of your life putting this together. Where did you get all of this stuff?
Well, for me, the exhibition changed quite a bit when I was able to access a lot of material that Chris Novoselic, the bass player from Nirvana, had up in his attic. And he, you know, literally pulling down these Tupperware bins that he hadn't looked at in over a decade and just opening up, you know, them and just like going through and like, oh my gosh, can I borrow this? Can I borrow this? And he's like, take it, take it.
You're dusting it off. Yeah. Well, speaking of stuff, let's show you some of that stuff. I mean, what are some of the highlights here?
Well, this poster right here was actually created by Kurt Cobain. That's his original artwork there, and that's the first time they were ever called Nirvana. They actually played a number of shows as a number of band names: Skid Row, Ted Ed Fred, Pencap Chew, and Bliss. But that was the very first time they were called Nirvana.
And here's an original demo tape.
Yeah, this is actually their first demo, recorded with Jack Endino in Seattle on January 23rd, 1988. And this really is the reason why they got hooked up with Sub Pop Records.
Well, this is actually something that if you're a big Nirvana fan, you are going to love this. What guitar? Why is that special?
Well, this is the first guitar that Kurt Cobain ever broke, and what I love about it is that it's not like, you know, he was Jimi Hendrix or The Who, where, you know, they could afford to break their guitars. This is, you know, Kurt Cobain in 1988 at a dorm party at Evergreen State College, and he breaks the only guitar that he has. And, you know, and beyond that, the idea that somebody in the audience actually saved it for 10 years before we acquired it, I think is really really amazing and shows that connection between the band and the fans.
Well, they obviously went on to smash many more guitars. You can come to this exhibit, and people in Spokane, you definitely should. It is just amazing. It is running now through 2013, so you have some time. But if you're a Nirvana fan, Sten, my friend, you need to come over this weekend, and we'll go together.
I was over there, and I saw it was there, and I was like, oh man, I missed it by about a month. But yeah, maybe I need to head on back over. Plus, the EMP's just cool looking
totally
anyway.
Do.
Christy.
It is. Yeah, you're right.
Thank you once again, Christy Johnson, live from Seattle for us this morning. 6:48, and what, 40 degrees right now, so we're trying to warm it up around here. We're back with Grace's forecast for the weekend and our top stories right after this.